All right, welcome. It's been a while since I did a Facebook Live here, and some of you will be listening later on YouTube. But I'm here in the group Women Healing from Emotional Abuse with Power, Passion, and Pleasure. And my name is Ailsa Kepi. I'm curator of the group. And I am often in here doing videos since 2017, 2018, when I started this group. It's been really my passion and my pleasure to host this group for women that are so courageous to try to find an answer to all of those things that we get taken away from us when we've been through abusive relationships, where we've had our confidence taken away from us, we've had our credibility, we have our belief, our own intuitive sense of what is real and what isn't, and what we feel and think. We've had all of that either taken away or twisted around or manipulated. And so it takes a lot of courage to show up for yourself, even to join a free Facebook group. It takes courage. So I really commend you all for being here. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, same thing. Congrats for just even starting to look at this at all. So I wanted to talk today because I've had a couple of conversations with someone in the group about why are relationships so hard, and I'm talking to her about relationships after the abusive relationship, right? You've had 1, 2, 3, many abusive relationships, and now you're trying to get into your new life phase and you're all excited. Maybe you've spent a year or 2 or 10 years working on yourself and you're excited to get into a new relationship. And that is an amazing place to be. However, it's like any other addiction when you have to deal with it head on. So when you find somebody to finally be in relationship with, you'll find that all of your stuff comes up again. All your triggers are going to probably still be there, even if you've managed to get them down to a manageable kind of shadow. It's maybe not this huge monster that makes you run screaming for the hills whenever somebody says, hey, you want to go on a date? But now you're actually getting to that place where it's like, oh shit, I don't know if this person likes me. I don't know if they're actually paying attention to me. Are they love bombing? Are they not? Am I being too needy? Do I tell them what I'm feeling? Do I not? Do I make space for them? Do I, do whatever they say? If they ask me out, do I make sure I make myself available? Do I say no? Do I show part of myself to this person or not? And so all of our insecurities come up when we finally start trying to date or get in a new relationship, or, even a new relationship at work, a new friendship. It's kind of all the same thing. And I think one big thing that I had to really deal with as I was healing from, an 18, 20-year abusive relationship and potentially somewhat manipulative and not great relationships with my parents. I had to really deal with this idea of why am I feeling really insecure? Why am I not having the confidence that I would think that I would have at this point? Because I've been dealing with life well. I've kept down a job. I'm raising kids. I'm going out. Nothing phases me in the world. I'm not, doing tons of other seemingly harmful behaviors. But when it comes to relationships, I just seem to not be able to settle. And so I was telling this woman, I was like, this is where really the rubber meets the road. This is where you have to pull out all your tools that you've worked on. And some of those tools, we have videos here in the group about dealing with your anger, dealing with your, potential addiction to love or relationships, or your own endogenous opioids, the drama triangle. We have videos about all of that. And so there's a lot of work to do on yourself. And when you finally get the potential to work in a relationship with those tools, now is your chance to really shine. And this is the chance to pull out all those tools that you've been working on and to really go for it. So if you get anxious every time someone doesn't text you back within like 5 minutes, you think maybe they don't like me, maybe they don't want to talk to me, maybe I'm being annoying. If that's you, then this is where you pull out your, I'm going to breathe for 10 breaths. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to live my life without spending 100% of my time and energy wondering if this new person in my life can now take over and take all of me, right? So we want to keep ourselves autonomous. We want to still be people, because part of the reason, if you are able to attract new and more healthy relationships, these people that maybe don't have a history of emotional abuse may not understand why you're so anxious or worried or want to suddenly become whatever that you think they want. Like, that's not why they fell in love with you or why they're interested in you. They're actually interested in you because most likely you're an awesome person and you have lots of strengths and interesting quirks and empathy and all these great qualities that, a lot of us that end up in emotionally abusive or manipulative relationships actually are really awesome people, and we have a lot of strengths, right? So narcissistic people are attracted to us. We have a lot of energy. So anybody's going to be attracted to that. And if you give all that up to try to please someone, you're actually going to sabotage your own chance of having a relationship with this person, because now you're not being real. You're just being what you think that person wants. And that is, probably the most annoying thing to somebody who's, more healthy in their relationship outlook. They don't want someone who's a lapdog. They don't want someone who's a doormat. They don't want someone who's a martyr. They want someone who's unique and funny and, challenging and all of the things that humans are. And so we want to bring ourselves to the relationship. And the best way to do that is to not let yourself give up all of who you are for this person. Now, that's difficult. I know that. It's really hard when you first get into a new relationship. You want to be talking to them all the time. You want to be touching them all the time. You want to be knowing that they're thinking about you all the time, just because you're thinking about them all the time. So you want to tone down, like turn back the dial and go, wait a second, what was I doing 2 weeks ago before I met this person, on a Friday night? Oh, I was going for a walk, or I was going to my yoga class, or I was hanging out with the kids playing Scrabble. I don't know. But find those things and do them. See if you can keep up some of your hobbies and your strategies for having a fulfilling life on your own, and really write down what those are, things that you like to do. Your favorite book. Do you like going and hanging out at a cafe, taking a new book from the library and just sitting and reading and people watching? Do that. And if the person that you're starting to be in a relationship with really likes you, they're going to love that you make time for yourself like that. And they're going to feel like, yeah, this person is going to allow me to be me, give me my space, and give me some, free reign to do some things that I love to do. Because a good relationship is not something like where you're enmeshed with that person 24/7. We all need and want and desire to have some autonomy, some time on our own. And, so it's not actually, however much they show it in the movies, it's not actually a great relationship when your entire life is encompassed by somebody else. So that's my biggest thing, is relationships are hard. It feels hard because we want to control that. And if we're with the person, we can control things better. We can control what they're thinking about, what they're watching. We can see who they're texting. We can see if they're thinking about us. We can, all of those things. So if that gave you anxiety, the word control, and wonder what they're doing, take a deep breath right now and just sink down into your belly and go, oh yeah, right. I can't control 24/7 what someone is going to do. And that will bring up all of our trust issues. And so, on and on, it brings up. So, if you've been lied to in the past, if you've been manipulated and all of those things, it will bring that up. But just know that this is testing you to keep grounded in your own self. So if your trust issues come up, you have to give someone some trust. Not all your trust, you give them some trust. So you're like, yeah, I'll see you, in a couple days or whatever. And then you text them good morning or good night, but you're not going to say every 5 minutes, text me, what are you doing now? What are you thinking? What are you up to? Who are you with? Like, you don't need to know that. And until somebody gives you a good reason to not trust them, in which case you shouldn't be trying to have a relationship with them anyway, until they give you an actual good reason. And this is where you really need some discernment. You need to take a step back and look at it really consciously. Is this person actually being untrustworthy, or is this my anxiety? And these things are tricky to really pick up on our own. And I've had a number of clients, work with me just to kind of feedback about, okay, this is what happened. This was the interaction. Do you think this was a reasonable interaction? And we talked about it every week, how they were doing with their relationships. And it really helps to kind of have a sounding board that can say, wait a second, that sounds just like a normal interaction. And sometimes, manipulators, as we all know, can be very hidden. They can be really good at it. Sure, there are people out there like that, and there always will be. So you may come up against them. But the more work we do to be authentic and to take things slowly and to really look at these issues that we are trying to overcome, the less we're going to attract those people, right? The less we're trying to run after them, doing whatever they need so that they'll like us, the less we're going to attract those types of people. So really, really try and take a step back and write lists of things. Reach out if you want a coaching type relationship. We'll hash it out every week and we'll talk it through. Post in the group if you are looking for some feedback. Here's what happened. Do you think that sounds reasonable? Do I need to, do more, do less? Do I need to have less controlling behavior? And so all of these things have to go. And if your spidey senses are kicking in big time and there are actually things that are showing up that are red flags, then by all means, walk away. And there was somebody who posted in the group recently about that, that you don't have to stick around for everyone. You can walk away. This is the nature of healthy relationships, is we are in them as long as they're great for everyone. And if they end up not being great for anyone, you particularly are important, then walk away, find new relationships. There's plenty of people out there. And the more that we continue to work on this, the easier it gets. So trust issues will come up, confidence issues, fears. Am I good enough? Will they care about me enough? Will anybody care about me enough? These are difficult things to overcome often on your own. The fear one especially. So I would say that if fear comes up for you, that you're not worthy of a good relationship, that you don't know where to turn, I highly recommend working with a therapist or someone that you can trust to be there for you. Maybe that isn't everyone's experience, but find a good therapist, find a good coach, work with them and build an experience in your body of a relationship where you can talk things out, where you can trust that they'll be there, that you can work on your fears of not being enough or whatever those fears are, that people won't, that you're not attractive enough, that you're not nice enough, that you're not whatever it is enough. Find somebody to work with on that. You need to have these types of relationship experiences. And if you never got a chance to have those, like, my heart goes out to you, first of all, if you have never had that. And sometimes we have to create those experiences for ourselves. And many people do that with animals. I have a few clients here that have started their relationship experiences with animals, because animals are very straightforward typically, right? You treat them well, they love you. It's simple. And that's a really good place to start, along with a really good therapist or someone that you can then move towards having a really good interaction with someone. So the fears will come up as well. All of this stuff gets triggered, and it doesn't mean that you haven't made progress. It doesn't mean that you can't manage many things in your life. But if relationships are the thing that you have issues with, then relationships is where it's going to show up. So congratulations for jumping in and, hopefully having some new experiences. We're in this body to have experiences and to grow. That's my take on things anyway. So this is an amazing experience to take a step forward, to try out some of your skills that you've picked up along the way. If you're looking for more ideas of how to work on yourself, watch some other videos in the group. Search under the videos section, the media section. Check out a number of our other videos. Start doing the work. Reach out if you want to have a call with me. We can set up some times. We could work on some coaching. I do work online as well as in person. I set up retreats for people. There's plenty of things happening at our center here in Nova Scotia. And I'd love to chat with you and see if there's anything that I know of that would fit. I also do have a fairly wide network of colleagues, both in North America and some in Europe as well. So if you are interested in, working with someone, I can at least put out some feelers and find someone a little closer to you for you to work with. So I just wanted to, say welcome to all the new people in the group. And this group has been running on Facebook since 2018. That's 6 years now, which is really incredible. And so there's lots of material here. I'm still here doing my thing. So if you haven't reached out yet and you've been ghosting the group for a while, reach out and let's chat. I'd love to get to know you. Same on Facebook. If you've been enjoying my videos on on YouTube, do click subscribe and like the videos. It helps my channel get known more. It helps more people join the conversation and heal with passion, pleasure, and all of the fun things in life. We want to have more fun and pleasure and less pain and loneliness. So thanks so much for joining. It was nice to see some of you on here. Belinda and Jackie, thanks for watching. It's nice to see you both. And I look forward to getting on here a little more often to chat to you all. All right, have a wonderful day.